IVM.
Hey everybody, welcome to another awesome week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Paytm Money. So we had a really interesting week on the network. Definitely check out some of the shows that came out there. We had interesting episodes on Cyrus Says, Advertising is Dead, Filter Coffee Podcast, Agla Station Adulthood, Mr. and Mrs. Binge Watch, Pesa Vesa. All of these shows had some really, really cool guests on, and there were some really good episodes out there. Do check them out. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. And with that, let's get you on with your show.
You are the only one who has the zest for life to introduce us right now, Sunetro. Do it. Do it.
Really? You're grossly overestimating my...
I can sense it. Is everything okay?
Yeah. Anyway, let's not go there. But yeah,
let's
talk about it.
This show is as much about us as it is about people who are listening. What the hell? Okay, but you don't have to.
Yeah, also, I'd rather talk about things that make me happy rather than what's pulling us down. We all know what's pulling us down,
I don't think people like to only talk about things that are pulling me down, but sure. Hi guys, welcome to GAYBCD. Welcome to GAYBCD. Sunetro just got a WhatsApp message. It's me, Farhad, and Sunetro, and as fragmented as we sound, that's how I guess our lives are right now. But thank you for tuning in, if you're listening. And okay, I'm just going to start with it. Dude, my area is officially in a red zone, okay? Do you know what that means?
You can't go out.
We are entirely cordoned off. And the thing is, right now, I stepped down to buy a medicine for my cat, and the cop let me go when I showed him the prescription. But when we tried to come back in, the cop changed and he wouldn't let us back in. And it was crazy. I had to stand in a line for around an hour and visible threats of being hit by a stake and everything. They just wouldn't let me get back home. It was crazy.
The situation.
So dystopian. I'm actually a little shook right now. It happened half an hour ago. So much so that I thought, holy shit, if they don't let me through, I might have to reschedule recording this episode. But luckily, I don't know. I just got down on his level and I was like, listen, you gotta let me in. But I felt so bad because they let me in, but there were 50 people in a line who they were not letting in. And it was crazy.
Yeah, also, the worst thing is it's so much easier when there's one person you can blame. You can't. You really can't because, they're trying their best to kind of curb this situation in a country which has a crazy population like ours. And
I'm so happy you said that because, here's the deal. There was one lady, and here's the funny thing is, I thought I'll get through because I have a prescription, but turns out everybody had medical prescriptions with them, right? And beside me, an old lady bag that they wouldn't let her through. And then she snapped and she started yelling at them. And that guy called 2 female constables, and one lady whacked that lady with a stick in front of me. And I'm a little shaken right now that I have to witness this. And then that lady cursed them. And in my head, I'm like, hey, the cops are doing their job. But I also empathize with this old lady who suddenly has to stand in a line just to get home, which she was pointing at and was visibly right just beyond the barricade. You know what I mean? It was crazy. I feel like I'm in that Children of Men kind of dystopian fucking...
we are living in a dystopia.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
I just want to take a moment and just put it out there. And I know you might have objections to me saying this, but to anyone who now talks about our generation being lazy or being whatever, having things easy, fuck you guys.
Oh my God.
We have been through 2 phases, not even one. We've had 2 downturns in our lifetime, where one downturn just fucked us over in terms of, just when we were either new at our jobs or about to enter the job realm. Or
are you talking about the recession?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Sorry, for me, it's just when you say that, I suddenly think of, man, I've lived through the Surat plague. Do you remember the Surat plague? Yeah. I don't know. That was a big thing when we were growing up. There was a huge bubonic plague in Surat. I think of the World Trade Center. So I feel like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm talking about like India, like, I'm talking about something that affected all of India.
Sure.
So I'm talking about like an entire generation being affected by two consequent, consecutive, disasters.
Bad cards.
And we're making it work. We had made it work. And if someone fucking turns around and says, hey, you are privileged, I will fucking smack their privilege. Because, bitch, you guys didn't go through World War. You guys didn't go through, independence. You guys went through at most maybe Indira Gandhi's regime. And nothing else. I am sorry. We've been through far more. So maybe it's coming from a space of, being, I don't know, like not knowing enough. But
I'm wondering if someone told you that today. Did someone say that to you? You sound like someone, like 5 people told you that today.
Not today, but like a couple of days back, it was with someone in my family. I really had to control myself because it was another generation where, they were talking about basically how, there was just like a little bit of, this generation, they're just like, they're doing TikTok videos as coping mechanisms. And I'm like, whatever the fuck, man. Just because you're living in your fucking palatial mansions and you have like servants to do your bidding from morning to night, and our generation, if we put something on TikTok and we make a coffee, and if we make our version of a really ugly dalgona coffee and we put it on Instagram and TikTok, so be it. It's a big fucking deal, yeah. So kya? What have you done? Personally? If you had the same resources that we did, you would have fucking like done nothing. So
sorry, please. I just had a total different tangent in my head when you said you have palatial cousins, like they have palaces. The first thing I thought of is that if we ever become like a cult podcast and then all our listeners and us need a place to live, you open up one of your palaces that you inherited and we all live there. The GAYBCD palace.
This part of my family? No, not happening. Definitely not happening.
That is crazy. But okay, you said it right. I get where you're coming from. Let's start there. And I don't want to give like a diplomatic answer, but I feel like every generation has its own set of struggles that
but then don't belittle another generation's struggles.
Of course. That's where I agree with you.
Did we pick it up and say that, hey, tere generation ko to kuch nahi hua? Like did we ever say that? No, na. Yeah. So apne like lane pe rehna. Like, please.
Wow. It's so funny how anything lately, I'm trying. It's all under control. It's not like I'm dying to fuck because I'm hearing it. If you're on Grindr, Tinder right now, every gay boy is either bored or horny, which is so fucking boring. You know what I mean? Like, get a new personality. Hey,
I'm off them because there is just like nothing is interesting there. Like even the conversations, I would rather. So what I'm doing is, with my park buddies, I've had good conversations. I've been having very heart to heart, sort of conversations with them. And sometimes it kind of delves into slightly more, fantastical conversations where
I actually read a very surface study about what you exactly described about how people are suddenly, especially gay boys, are suddenly having deeper conversations online solely because of the pandemic. Which is so bizarre because it's happening to me too. But I feel like the amount of sexting that's been happening right now.
Also good sexting. Like it's not for me, honestly. This is just for me. But I'm. So what's happening is it's just like really good sexting. Like it's not it's not like wham bam, thank you ma'am. It is really like, passionate sexting, that kind of sexting where, like, this friend of mine and I, we were just talking about, like, we know that the day this lifts, like, we both are very sure we both are safe, but the day this lifts, we both are going to fuck, and like we're going to fuck a couple of times. And but it was not just that. It was about, how can we do things differently? Let's try this. Like, maybe we will get the animalistic urge out, but there was also consideration in terms of, what are you missing? What would you kind of be craving for at that point of time? It's very considerate, like, sexting, so to say, for me. And it's great. I think that's been like a very, very helpful, because it's like mild therapy in a way, I would say. Like, I've not had sex since mid-March, for God's sake. Like, it's, oh my God.
but tell me something. Okay, let's rewind a bit. Were you always a sexter, or is it has it born out of the pandemic? Like, again, it's a...
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I'm not big on like
visual sex,
delving into the sexual conversations with just about anyone. For me, I think I'm very careful about that, because I've been kind of, like, I feel like it needs to be a mutual, like, there are a lot of people who are just like, screen jerkers, like, who just want to get off, like, and I need to tell them the story, and I need to
confess something? I'm so happy you said that, because I feel like I might be one of those people. And it's something, because, I always put on this whole front, and I'm just being honest, right? I always put on this front that I love being like by myself, and you know what? I'm okay with no sex anymore, and I say things like that. But lately, and by lately, I mean in the last 6 months to 1 year, I've started noticing, and we've joked about this before, the whole, oh my God, I need a relationship, and then I masturbate, and oops, I don't need a relationship anymore,
Yeah.
I feel like it's not funny anymore. You know what I mean? Because I have become, I did not know, is that an actual term, what you just said, screen jerker?
I mean, I say
or you
that.
just made it up. Okay, I think I'm a screen jerker. Because so many times I've realized now that I'd just rather get to the point and be hypersexual via chat with someone. And once it's done, I'd only either talk to them again when it's another session of like sexting, but I don't want to talk about anything else. You know what I mean? I don't want to, hey, how are you? Where in Bombay? None of that shit. And so much so that I know it's one of the things I might have to bring up in therapy soon, because it's definitely problematic for me now. It's counterproductive almost.
So, one thing that I've realized is when this, sexting sort of takes place, and unless it is someone that I'm very comfortable with sexually, which is, my fuck buddies, so to say, unless it is them, if there is so much sexting, actual sex actually turns out to be quite like ho-hum,
Okay, and like vanilla, you mean?
Very, like, no, as in, like, not even vanilla, like, not exciting, because the fantasy is so much bigger and better.
I know what
that when you actually get to it, it's just like, so I'll give you an example. A couple of months back, I met someone, and we were really, so there are two things that I discovered. One was just the fact that, so this person, very sweet boy and all of that, and he was like, can you take on a daddy sort of a role? And I was like, fine, totally into it. So I was into it, and our conversations were just like we were jerking off all the time, and we were in different cities, and then we met, and then when we met, it was
I totally know what you mean.
And it was because we had done all of that on, like, we had done the exciting bits as part of a story, and when it came to actually doing it, it was underwhelming. One, and secondly, I realized that I don't think I can do, like, I can dirty talk. Like, I cannot dirty talk at all. And I was so embarrassed because this person wanted me to
like in
go.
person, you can't dirty talk.
Yeah, like I can do it on when I'm texting on like on chat. I can be like a whore, like, but
yeah.
But when it came to actually in person, I was so awkward because I realized that I don't want to abuse you. Why do you want me to abuse you? Arey, like, I can, and I'm more of a, if you want me to kind of, like in a situation like that, if you want me to be I don't know, like a little, nasty, I'm more nasty when it comes to my actions rather than my words.
Yeah.
And this person was just not into the action, was into the words.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this is making me so uncomfortable because he was a very sweet boy. And I was like, I'm looking at your face and I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I can't call you fucking bitch, like, like, so.
Oh, you see, I find that so sweet. You say fucking bitch. I say cum slut.
I mean, God, yeah. So there was like, he was like, why can't you call me a cum dump? Like, why can't you say?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm not good. And he was like, yeah, you texted me that, and I was like, oh yeah, I did, but like I can't say it. So yeah, so essentially for me, I've realized that if I sext too much, I end up not enjoying the actual physical experience too much.
Yeah.
So I kind of...
I know what you mean. Because so many times, what I've started is I actually now when I sext, and of course there's always a plan to eventually we'll meet. I straight up, before I start sexting, I put out a little disclaimer that, hey, in person, I'm really vanilla. Because here's the deal. I am... And I'm not being cocky. I am a great sexter. I am a multimedia experience, first of all. You know what I mean? My sexting is not just, first of all, I am illustrious. I will use words. I will employ words that will blow your mind. You know what I mean? I will not just say, oh, I'm going to come on your face. No, I will fucking write and describe the glint of my cum, the way it's shining, the way my, the way my fucking, your anus is milking the veins on my fucking cock. I'll write like shit like that. You know what I mean? I get graphic. So that's one thing. Secondly, I use GIFs and videos and name it, like, while the conversation is going on. And I literally, which makes me sound actually very sad when I say this out loud. I love sexting. I do, And, but it started reaching this exact thing which you said, which is when I would, let's say I actually meet the person, and I say it like that because so many times now I feel like sexting in itself has become a complete experience for me. You know what I mean? Where if I sext with someone enough, I don't feel the need to meet them in real life. No matter how much I'm into them. And that I find problematic a little on my part, but I don't feel the need to. I just literally know what this person's cock, anus, everything looks like, and having sexted with them for a while, I know I don't want the other stuff that, apart from the sex, you know what I mean? So it's just become like I live in these little pockets and chat rooms, I'm saying, but chat windows where I actually don't follow up. But long story short, I always do put out a disclaimer that, hey, you're about to embark on a ride with me, but I want you to know that when we meet, I'm actually not going to fuck your brains out. I'm not going to take a piss all over you. You know what I mean? I will maybe, like, in the moment, but please don't expect some fucking Johnny Sins showed up kind of like, I'm not going to be some porn star. I will sound like that for the next, I emphasize on that. And more often than not, it does the trick. Obviously, a lot of people just need to be reminded that, hey, this is not real. And a lot of times I feel like I am not me when I'm sexting. You know what I mean? I do get into that role play zone because depending on, again, preference or tone of voice, I establish all those things. Does this person want me to be a bottom? Because then accordingly I'll send GIFs and vids, if I'm like an alpha.
I think you've touched upon a very important point. I think when we are sexting, it's like a really mild version of actually role playing. And I just realized that the reason I'm a little uncomfortable with sexting is because I think the most sexually sort of confident version of me is the authentic me. And the moment I have to put on another sort of facade, which is what I need to do when I'm sexting, that's when I kind of, I feel uncomfortable. And I have to say this, that once I have had sex with someone, I think casual conversations where we talk about, oh, so let's try this out. I think that I'm very comfortable with, because then I'm still me. I'm talking
you mean
about
in person.
as me. Yeah. Sorry, even on like,
Okay, online.
that.
Yeah.
It's not I'm going to fuck your brains out, but it's more about, I saw this and I want to try this out. It's a very casual, sort of very authentic, real conversation. It's not a fantasy that I'm building.
Sure.
So then I'm very comfortable.
Also, I feel like just extending upon what you said, the reason we don't end up being ourselves, because there are so many things we can play upon online which we can't in real life. Today, if I want to tell a boy that I'm going to come in his ass and then take a piss in his fucking fuck him later, I can do that online. I can't do that in real life. You know what I mean? As in, that's not real. It's not an option, So a lot of times it really, and the more I do it, especially, and again, I want to, one of the reasons I wanted to discuss sexting today is because I knew it that with the pandemic as the backdrop, it's too festered because it's easy, right now. Either I'll say, hey, what's up? Someone will be like either bored or horny. And the moment it's horny, boom. What do? What's your pref? You know what I mean? It's within 5 minutes of just horny, we've already like exchanged Instagram and dick pics and asshole pics, and now sexting is not what it used to be before. You know what I mean? I feel like gone are the days of just simple dick pics and butt pics. Now it's like fuck videos. Oh, I have fuck videos. You send me fuck videos. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. I just feel like it's become a complete experience in itself, especially with the pandemic right now. That has actually made me realize that pre-pandemic, I was just seeing it as something I do. But now I know that even that was a little problematic for me. Problematic in terms of, again, I can't see this as an alternative for what I want in the real world. You know what I mean? Or what I need to do in real life. I just feel like I've become so accustomed to this and again, I'm not giving myself enough credit. The thing is, it's become a litmus test also for me to know which boys I genuinely like, because with them I don't feel like sexting. So I have this one lovely friend in Dehradun, and we've been exchanging sunset pictures almost every day. And it's a little highlight of my day in its own little way. You know what I mean? And that's special. But trust me, apart from that, obviously I'm suddenly finding myself in more situations where I need to while time away. So I find myself more on Bumble or Tinder or Grindr. Just knowing that I don't expect anything right now because I'm not going to meet anyone. It's just become like this, hey, what's your preference? What's your this? What's your WhatsApp? What's your Instagram? And boom, exchange of like a flurry of videos and pictures and this. And also, sorry, before I forget, I know there's another big reason why I found this as a sexting itself as a fulfilling experience. I've always believed that I'm an exhibitionist online. I don't know if you know this. As in, not anymore. I take it a little easy now, but I am very okay with being nude online. With in the past, I don't know if any of my listeners have followed me in the past on Instagram, but yeah, there was like without like I would do the aesthetic brown boy sex online routine before, especially when Snapchat was new and all. Like you'd see cum shots and all without cocks and all. Like there'd be cum shots, there'd be like pretty cum shots, there'd be like a little glimpse of ass, there'd be a little glimpse of pubes. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. I used to do that a lot, and I've realized that I am so good at manipulating how my body looks online that I'm terrified that I actually don't look like that offline. Like, again, I'm just leaping across many of my anxieties to say this one thing. But what I mean is, I know I'm very confident in that I will send you a fucking video that will look so beautiful. Yeah, but in reality, I feel like I have contorted my body or taken it from an angle, or the lighting is such that actually my body is not that. But I feel that's another reason, because literally the more because every time a lockdown date gets extended, even I'm being tested in terms of sexually right now. You know what I mean? Early on, when all these gay boys were like, oh, I need to have sex in this lockdown and all of that, I was like, shut the fuck up. It's okay. You're not going to die. But now even I feel like my patience is being tested a little. Like, holy shit.
I need to read a couple of books. Like, how was it done? हमारे age में ऐसा हुआ करता था. Like that. Like, it's been 2 months, for God's sake. But, one point I want to talk about what actually put me off of sexting.
Sure.
And this is basically 2 experiences with 2 people I was getting very, very close to while we were sexting. There was one person who still like stays in Singapore. I presume he's closeted, but we were kind of we used to jerk off on cam and things like that, and we would call each other like blah blah blah. But when it kind of turned, like for me, sexting is a means, like it's a process that eventually leads to an actual physical encounter. And if it doesn't, it kind of ceases to hold value in my eyes. This one experience was such that obviously this person continues to stay in Singapore, and we had tried figuring, this person came to India but didn't come to Bombay. I went to like Southeast Asia but didn't come to Singapore. So eventually we stopped, like I stopped sexting, and he asked me once, said, why can't we do our cam sessions? Why can't we sext? And I was like, what's the point? My issue is that, what's the point? Where is it going? Where is it going is a question I ask myself. And similar thing happened with like a really old friend from Calcutta, and he moved to Delhi, and every time, like we would always talk about when if I'll come to Delhi, this is what would happen, that. And there still is, like if we talk, there's still like a lot of like heat and stuff between the 2 of us. But it was, what started pissing me off was, I just felt like he just wanted to get off on these conversations and actually not act on, and something,
actually make it concrete, like a concrete.
And
Sure.
And again, I like, and
Dude,
I know,
I feel so guilty when you say that. You said it earlier also. I literally think I've become that guy where I just want it to be online sexual, and I don't want it to be a real thing.
No, and I would try and tell him that that you're beautiful, and you like, I would love to see you in person, and I'd love to spend time with you in person, like physically. But like literally the only thing I was getting from this person was, okay, so tell me how you will treat me, tell me how you, like, it was just a fantasy that I needed to feed. And that kind of didn't vibe well with me, and that's again, like I said,
left a bad taste in your mouth.
Actually didn't even. so yeah, so that's what, like for me, it has to go somewhere, and by going somewhere, I don't mean let's get into a relationship. It has to end. It has to eventually lead.
It has to formalize in some way.
Yeah. So if that's not happening, then boss, what are we jerking off to? What are we jerking off for? So so I think that's something that for me is like a cardinal rule, at least now. I don't know who I'll be tomorrow. But for me now, I mean, I don't see a point of sexting until unless I see it happening, it actually converting into a physical encounter.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Because again, I'm a serial edger. I edge a lot. So I just feel like I'm guilty of exactly what you're not accusing, but you are saying the other guy was doing. Because I literally just don't want to get my rocks off. I literally just want to feel titillated enough for me to move on. And that's the thing. The nature or design of the current dating app scene is such that it gives you that ability. Today I can chat with sex chat with 4 different guys and in some way have like had that online sex, which I know is not real at all. So it's again very sad that I feel that these are experiences in themselves. It's a mix of convenience for me so that I don't have to deal with anything real in IRL. I don't have to deal with a person. It's something even I constantly, when I'm trying to have this conversation with you right now, I do understand how this has taken way more of a grip on my life than I actually thought it might have. I thought I had it under control, but now I'd see it as a problem in the horizon at least. Yeah. I know I'll deal with it, but it's just that I don't know how I ended up here, and I feel like, again, the pandemic just accelerated that because sexting is so easy right now and it's an option. It's the only option. You know what I mean? In that sense. Dude, otherwise, I don't know. Because I'm one of those people who like, literally even my phone gallery, sometimes it's just like, I always joke about this that I've legit in real, I've told my friends, my best friends, that if I ever die, let's say it's like a car accident or something, the first thing you need to do is destroy my phone, because I always have this visual where they give my parents my phone.
Oh, gee.
And somehow my parents get access to my gallery and they will just be like, oh my God, our son fucked a lot of people and there's proof of it right here. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like it's been a huge part of my life, but now I have to move away from it a bit. I don't know. You should sometimes literally fuck alone the videos and stuff. If you ever saw my sex chats, like it is never I'm going to fuck your ass. No, I write paragraphs because again, I've always been a big fan of like literotica. So like, I write it out, like literally right from what the aroma in the room is like, how your sweat is mixing with my sweat, or whether it's your 2-day chest stubble that you just shaved rubbing against my fucking chest stubble. I get into it. I commit to sexting. It's just like sometimes I'm like, how did I take this shit so seriously? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And also, like, again, if anyone's listening, I just want to, I feel like people are very frivolous with sexting. I'm actually a very careful person when I sext, because here's the deal. I don't know. What do you do for porn, by the way? What are your go-to sites, if you don't mind my asking?
I mean, I like the usual, like Pornhub.
Okay. You don't do Twitter and stuff.
Oh, no. Okay. Also, I mean, I have to be like, for porn, I have to like, it's only on my phone because that's my personal device and my computer is not my personal device. So I have to be very careful. So ultimately it ends up like, the phone experience of porn is like not satisfactory.
No, it's actually a little sad. Every time I'm watching porn on my phone, I step out of my body and I watch myself watching porn on a phone. And then I think of all those emo messages of people who are looking at their phone. And I'm like, yuck, I'm one of those people.
No, and I remember, you were talking about porn a couple of days back, and let's talk about it as an episode. And the reason I was not comfortable with that was because actually me watching porn has really gone down because I don't like watching porn on on my phone. So
you want a projector, you want a projector and like 3D glasses.
So here's the thing. One of the things I've really been looking forward to when this COVID situation is going to kind of wind up is getting a projector for my bedroom. Because I have this really big wall in my bedroom, like a white wall that I face, and I fucking want to like, then I can project shit. Like, then I can definitely project shit. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, what I was trying to get at earlier is I use Twitter a lot. And trust me, Twitter's become, the moment Tumblr shut down, everybody migrated to Twitter. Yeah, for porn. All the porn accounts at least. And trust, I don't know, you said Pornhub. I very rarely go to an Xvideos or a Pornhub anymore because Twitter is the place. I know all my friends watch porn on Twitter now. Like, Twitter is the place for porn. And I'm surprised that so many people don't even know it. Like, they just think Twitter is Twitter. No, Twitter is porn central, and it is amazing in that sense. It's amazing in that sense because what happens is Twitter handles are basically on a porn hub. What you do is you'd go and in the search bar type what you're looking for, right? But on Twitter, what happens is there are handles that are designated to certain types of porn. So let's say if you're into big back cock, or if you're into twinks, or if you're, there'll be entire Twitter handles just dedicated. Let's say you're into jocks, or now I don't only want to say types, but a very specific thing also, like let me give you an example. Okay, for example, I love outdoor sex. Yeah? So I follow one Twitter which is entirely just videos of outdoor sex. They only post videos of like amateur outdoor sex. You know what I mean? So it's already curated for you by someone else, you know? It's not like I'm on Pornhub and I'm on page 3 and page 4 and I'm not finding a video that I really want to get off to. But what I'm trying to get at is the more I use Twitter porns, dude, I'm not kidding, the number of times I find nudes of my friends on Twitter. Yeah, because they are careless in the way they I'm not kidding. Like, that's a huge part. That's the downside of sexting, right? Like,
so one of the reasons I refuse to send my nudes to anyone is because once a friend of mine found a nude of mine, and like he saw my tattoo there, and he alerted me. And it was, luckily it was just a photo. Then there's nothing lucky about it, but the fact that happened, and this was like way back, I was very, very after that. Like after that, I don't send anything. Like neither do I send dick pics, nor do I send nudes. I'm like, boss, ghar aake dekh ke jao.
No. I want to take this moment to educate people in sexting safely, if that is a thing. Okay, first of all, based on how much I trust a person, I allow replay, or I only once. That's number one. And that's not number one. Number one is I watermark everything. So let's say if I'm going to send you a video of me jerking off, or if I'm going to send you whatever, if I'm sending it to you, it will have the words Sunetro written throughout the video. You know what I mean? Across it. So there's no way you can like edit it, or like, because if you cut out your name on it, or if you block your name out, you block out the entire video. That's how big and prominent I put a watermark. Of course, I put it transparent, so I don't want to rob the person of their sexual experience, but I watermark. So I just wish everybody watermark it. So if you're sending it to a guy called fucking Pranav, just write Pranav on it. If you're going to send it to a guy, just write the person's name who you're sending it to. So in the event, that person's not stupid enough to leak your pictures with their name on it. You know what I mean? That's number one.
No, as in you, your own name, or you would write that person's name?
No, I would write the person I'm sending it to, I would write their name on it. Because then, you know what I mean? There is no chance. You automatically seal off their chance. Also, all your apps today, Snapchat, Instagram, they all have an option where they tell you if someone screenshotted, sure. But people are so stupid, they think these are foolproof. No, there are tons of ways where people can still get your screenshots and screen grabs and record your screen without you knowing that they've done that. You know what I mean? So I always feel that's my second point, which is, hey, always allow replay. Is a very, I don't give it easily. You know what I'm talking about? Or this is alien to you?
No, I know, of course. I would totally have done that if I knew better, you know, in the past.
Yeah, same here. And I've had a moment where I found suddenly my shit on Twitter. And that's the thing. Once it's online, then you can't do much about it. You just move the fuck on in life, because the way I see Twitter, if your news are out once, it will keep duplicating and repeating on different Twitter handles again and again and again. And there's no way to squash it. Unless you have the guts and the balls to go to your cybercrime team and then tell them that this is the image.
Firstly, come on, like itna harassment.
It's not possible. Trust me, I have a friend who, and he's pretty popular in one sense, I'd say, on the scene at least. A lot of people do know him by face. He's a prominent gay, let's just put it like that. And some very embarrassing fucking videos of him ended up on Twitter. And trust me, he was one of those people who had the courage to go to the cybercrime team that, hey, this has happened. Sure, they kind of helped him also. Yeah. But it is impossible. Till date, I see that video pop up on my Twitter feed again and again and again. It's like stepping into shit. No matter how much you scrape your shoes off, it's still just going to keep spreading and it's just never going to go. Once it's there, it's there. But I just feel like it's 2-3 simple things like just establish some sort of like, hey, you're not some fucking fake catfishy stupid person. Don't sext with those people. You know, if you have a doubt that the person is sketchy, first of all, don't sext with them. Secondly, just be a little cautious. And again, I'm just saying this because so many times people who send me their videos, I get a little surprised. Hey, why don't people watermark their shit? You know, they don't know me. Of course, I'm like one of those people. I find it so personal that, oh wow, this person has trusted me enough. So when I'm on the other end, sometimes when a person says, hey, for your eyes only, I hope you, I'm like, you don't even need to tell me that. I understand basic sexting etiquette. You know what I mean? Like and my thing is, if I'm sexting with a person, I'm already automatically possessive about them in some way. So I don't want another pair of eyes to ever see what this person is showing. You know what I mean? So it's leave alone me sharing it or like saving it in my phone or whatever. I'm just saying I wish people were more cautious when they sext.
Makes sense, of course, yeah. But again, you know, like I didn't know that. I didn't know how to be cautious, you know?
Yeah.
Like I know now, I would have done things differently back then.
Sure.
But yeah, like
OnlyFans. Look at OnlyFans. So many of my friends who like joke about, I should get an OnlyFans and all. They have no idea. You can literally screen record an OnlyFans, and not only will it affect because a lot of them want to do it for the money, obviously, right? And there is no doubt that they're going to make lots of money if they open an OnlyFans account. There's no doubt about that. But the problem with a model like OnlyFans is that you put your videos up, it takes only one idiot to screen record your video and put it up, and then suddenly next thing you know, nobody wants to pay for your content because it's already there for free online. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. Although from what I've heard, OnlyFans is soon going to come out with you know how Netflix and Hotstar and Amazon, you can't take screenshots at all. Yeah, I believe OnlyFans is coming out with that feature soon. And they need it more than anything if they have to survive. But have you ever subscribed to an OnlyFans? I just don't know.
No, I haven't.
Okay. I have one friend who I've subscribed to just because I want to like support him in it. Oh my God. And it's so funny. I'm laughing like that because when I say support him, it's like literally to watch him get bred by multiple men all day long. Every week he puts up like 6 videos to engage with his audience and all. Okay. And I'm like, Arun, you're so stupid. You know what I mean? People are fucking putting your videos up on Instagram, on Twitter for free. What the fuck are you doing? But wow, he makes money. I'm a little jealous. Can I tell you something? In the first 2 months of him opening an OnlyFans account, he made £6,000.
Wow.
£6,000. He's in London. He lives in London. He made £6,000 in 2 months. And then I'm like, what the fuck am I doing trying to find freelance gigs? Oh my God. But for me, it's just always, you know, I had when I was growing up, I don't know, I don't want to generalize, but every gay boy has that I want to be a porn star phase. You know what I'm talking about? No?
Maybe not.
No? Maybe not. Okay, then I won't even go there. But I know a lot of friends have expressed that desire. I, at one point, felt like, holy shit, I'd make such a great porn star, So much so that, can I tell you something? I had applied when I was around 24, 25. Do you know Peter Fever, the Australian company?
No.
Okay, Peter Fever is like possibly like Australia's Corby Fisher, or one of those porn houses. Okay, and they do a lot of videos with Asian, Indian boys, and I had sent them an application, and I actually got through, but I had to pay for my own flight. Everything else was sorted, but I had to pay for my own flight. And secondly, I just had this vision of my mom watching me either fucking a boy or getting fucked by a boy, and I could not go through with it. But it's something I filled an application and sent my pictures and stuff. That's how serious I was about being a porn star at one point.
No, I'm very sex positive about whoever chooses to kind of do stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. It's a job is a job is a job at the end of the day. If there is something you consume, then it's okay for someone to create that whatever is. So if you are okay with having chemicals, then you don't have a right to tell someone whatever. So don't do drugs. So it's literally that. So for me, it's like I've never because I have way too many me issues. I don't think I look great on a screen and shit like that. So,
I'm sorry if this is inappropriate. I'm imagining it, and I'd totally buy that OnlyFans. I'm not kidding. Just your hair alone. Your beautiful hair tied up in a little, I don't know how you tied up. If you
the number of people, there are two things that I've gotten a lot of. Yeah. One is a number of guys who've told me they want to jerk off into my hair.
It's bizarre.
It's bizarre. And the second is, for some reason, my feet.
They want to jerk off on your feet.
So I put a lot of, I have put a lot of photos of my feet because I'm on vacation and shit like that.
Yep.
The number of messages that I get, just pure foot fetish and very, very nasty messages about what they want to do, what they want my feet to do to them.
Yeah.
So it's
Dude, I have understood over the years, being a very out and proud person, I have understood almost every kink, but I just don't get feet. I really don't. And I get it.
Even I don't.
I get it, but it's...
I totally get... For example, there was a time when I never got armpits. Now I do. But I totally do now.
Yeah.
But feet I still don't get. I really, really don't get feet.
Yeah, I don't like looking at my own feet. I don't like looking at other people's feet. So it's just
I do it for other people.
And when I say I get other kinks, I totally no matter how bizarre. Trust me, I once hooked up with a boy, and he literally wanted me to put my nose up his butt. You know how you go fuck someone, or you actually fuck someone. He insisted repeatedly that he wanted to sit on my nose, and he wanted to feel. And I played along with him. Sure, man, I will put my nose up your butt. I'm no Pinocchio, but I'll do it. But I will understand. It's so much. So, can I tell you something? I don't mean to take this in a grim direction, but I have a friend who was, I should say, a bug chaser. Do you know what a bug chaser is?
Bug chaser. No, tell me. I know it, but I forgot.
This will really suddenly put a dampener in this conversation in some way. But bug chasers are people who voluntarily want HIV.
Oh, yeah. Pause.
Like pause dating. Yeah. And I have a friend who was and is a bug chaser. And I understood where he's coming from. You know what I mean? That's my level of understanding someone else's experience. But when someone says, I really like your feet, Farhad, can I lick them? I'm like, okay, you sure you want to do that, buddy? And
speaking of I just want to kind of circle back to the bug chasing point.
Sure.
I understand that because especially during the pandemic, for example, and this is something to anyone who's listening, I just want them to hear me out. The urge when the pandemic lifts to raw dog yourself out, like bareback, is going to be crazy.
Dude, I'm so happy you said that because I've been struggling. Lately, I've been thinking about visualizing sex.
All my sex chats have been about, imagine barebacking.
Sure.
But please, I just want to put it out there. Please, let's not forget what is still safe and what still isn't. Just because you haven't had sex in 2 months doesn't mean someone else hasn't.
No, and I'm so happy you're saying that because again, it's so many times we live our lives thinking, am I the only one who's feeling this? And this is one of those things where even though I'm safe and I played safe and everything, lately I can't help but, because again, so much of my sex has been happening online, and of course because it's online, suddenly it's like, oh my god, cream pie my hole and then shove it back in, and that's the kind of shit like conversations get, and then slowly it's blurring that line of like where I started questioning that, hey, I've been so hypersexual the last month or 2 months online that will I understand what risky behavior is once the lockdown ends? You know what I mean? Like I scare myself a little in that sense. So I'm glad you said that. Like it's out there. Like other people are doing this or feeling this too. Like Jesus, because I was starting to feel like, oh Farhad, what the fuck? Because let's say I'm not sexting with someone and I'm just jerking off. And even that right now is like, let's not even go there. Like my jerk off average has gone up like fuck knows what, you know what I mean? Even the kind of visuals I'm having while jerking off, it's literally like smut, like I need Jesus right now. Like it's bizarre. So I started like, obviously now when you're jerking off and you're like, obviously you don't imagine, oh, now the guy's reaching out for a condom and wearing a condom and now, you know what I mean? You don't visualize it like that. You just visualize it like, yeah, fuck, okay. I love the stickiness of this cum in my hole, whatever. So I was starting to like blur that line in my head, and I have had to in some way through worrying, I'm trying to circle back to the fact that, hey, do not think that you're a kid in a fucking candy shop when this lockdown ends. Yeah. I've had to tell that to myself a couple of times now. Like, hey, don't fucking go raw dog every fucking thing that moves once this is done. Jesus. And honestly, I did speak to my therapist recently, and he brought this up too, because I sort of brought this up with him that I'm worried I might partake in some risky fucking behavior once this ends. Yeah. And he immediately put me at ease, saying that you are not alone. He himself is worried that a lot of his gay clients are all going to fucking, just go for it. And,
as soon as this is over.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. And it's so weird, right? When you think about it, because here we are doing this thing to not catch one thing, but then
lead to 20 other things.
Yeah. So I try to focus on that bit, that, hey, if I'm doing all of this right now, it's obviously because I feel self-preservation is a feeling a lot of people don't talk about, but it's such a big part of our lives. We never talk about self-preservation. Our psyche or our mind in so many times, in so many ways, tries to always protect you. You know what I mean? Sure, we do things that are self-destructive a lot of times, like whether it's smoking or drugs or unprotected sex. We do those things, all those impulsive things we partake in. But I feel at our core, our mind and our body are always trying to protect us from those things. And I feel like I'll just listen to my self-preservation voice a lot more as this pandemic is nearing its end. I feel like it's important for me, at least, if I don't know about everyone else, but I know it's important for me to do that. Because the last thing I want to do is go through all of this right now. Because I'll tell you what, the first month of the pandemic, I did not have the option to self-isolate. I've said that before, because my cat fell ill. I was going to the chemist, I was going to the vet, I was doing that every day. And so much so that, friends who literally stay in the building beside me were like, why don't you come hang out? And I was like, no, guys, I cannot, because I do not know if, I've not been like so I know my priorities are right. I just know that I don't have to act on my impulses is all.
Yeah, that's what. And that's literally what it all boils down to, right? Like, don't give in to your most, I wouldn't even say bad, but like potentially harmful impulses.
Sure, man. Fuck. But how do you say? I don't know. I'm at this point, I think everything is phallic and I want to put everything up my butt.
Yeah, well.
Literally, either want to stick my dick into something or I want to put everything up my butt right now. And I want to set myself apart from other horny people online. I'm not, I know I've got it under control and shit. But it's like, it is every time the lockdown gets extended, it is a test. It is a test, which
True.
I know I will pass. But it is testing. Like in present tense.
So I had today I was having a conversation at while we were working and this really close colleague of mine, the two of us were just discussing how it's okay, like it's all right for us, like we've kind of come to a point where we've stopped saying yeah, we are fine, all good. We say there are good times and there are bad, but it's so important to kind of I know it's difficult, but just count your blessings. I have a roof over my head, thankfully. I have blessings which I need to, and in my own ways I can kind of maybe make a tiny difference to someone, like my mate, for example, my domestic help. Her husband's lost his job because I mean he's a daily wage laborer and like he doesn't. So in my way, I'm trying to do whatever I can, and so it makes. I'm not going to say it makes me feel amazing, but like my blessing can be maybe the tiniest.
No, it should make you feel amazing. A lot of times, it should make you feel amazing.
I'm just feeling like decent. I'm feeling like a decent part of the world. That's it. That's all there is to it, and it'll.
This is such a tangent. But I literally, when I watch Friends, when I don't want to watch it. Does that make sense? Like basically, I want something running in the background, and maybe I'm cleaning my cupboard or I'm on my phone. I put Friends in the background.
Yeah.
And I think there is only one Friends episode where it gets a little philosophical. And that's the episode. And I don't know, it played yesterday and I couldn't help but think of it in this pandemic sense. But it's the episode where Joey and Phoebe have this debate whether there is any act that is selfless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it's actually the only Friends episode where they've tackled a philosophical concept. You know what I mean? Oh, a bee stung me. Now see, that's a selfless act. You know what I mean? Like, I did not kill it. Or like, he says something, oh, this is what I did, and you know what I mean? I felt like, with what you said right now, I feel like if you feel happy that you have helped someone, do it, because you need that even right now. You need to feel happy, and trust me, it's repeatedly proven. Yeah, you can take as much medication as you want for your mental illnesses. You can but nothing solves, or repeatedly they have found out that a lot of times the cure for mental illnesses lies in community living, or like trying to have a community led outlook towards life where you help each other constantly. And this is such a fantastic time to do that in the smallest ways, whether it's like, and I'm not trying to but I was on Twitter yesterday, and just to be on Twitter, okay, not for porn. But I happened to see a tweet where, this person in Khardanda, the area I live in, requires ration and stuff. And I got in touch with the person who put out that tweet. And right enough, I had an extra kilo of rice because we had gone in bulk bought a little. So I had an extra kilo of rice. I had an extra kilo of dal. I had an extra liter oil, or little extra karke. I was like, I met the person and outside I gave it to them. You know what I mean? So yeah, sure, I can either question if my intention was like, whatever, but I just felt so good. I felt so good that in a time like this, so many doors are closed for so many people. That includes me too. I'm not belittling my own issues because I'm jobless right now. You know what I mean? I'm constantly worried about where money is going to come from, whether Squid is going to be okay, all these things. So I don't belittle my problems, but every chance I find where I can make it easier for someone else, I hope everybody just does that. You know, it's great. Wow, we went from sexting to where? The full range.
Let's end this episode on this note. What is the one thing that gives you joy? Like one thing. Like I'll give you an example.
Okay.
It will become a little bit of a ritual for me. Like in the morning, I kind of, work out a little, and after that, after my shower, I literally make myself like some like really chilled like iced coffee.
Okay.
And that's just something as simple as that is giving me joy now. And it, coffee was never my thing, and it's just those 15 minutes that I take in the morning, it just helps me through the day.
Yeah.
What about you?
It's similar. I don't know. Again, I told you I recently learned, in the previous episode, I talked about how I learned how to make dahi. I've been making chas for myself every day. I love it. I look forward to having chas all the time. And my favorite ritual, if I had to say what I look forward to every day, is, of course, my fucking sleep schedule is shit right now. I could sleep at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, which is ridiculous for me because it took me years to be that person who would sleep by 11, 12 and wake up at 7, 8. You know what I mean? It took me years to train myself to be that person, but it's all gone out the window with this whole lockdown. And I have to say my favorite thing is I take these very late night showers lately at around 3 o'clock. Or 2 o'clock in the night, where it's ultra quiet outside, because living in Bombay, even 2 or 3 is not really quiet otherwise.
I know.
But right now it's like pin drop silence, and I either put on some very I've been listening to a lot of Hindustani classical or old school Kishore Kumar, Rafi, and I have these very therapeutic showers in the night. Like so much so that I have 2 showers during the day. I have one when I wake up, I have one in the evening-ish, and now my late night shower is my favorite shower. But I just literally feel like it undoes all the stress I've taken in a day, that one shower. So that's my ritual.
That's nice. I think we should all take a moment, do whatever makes us feel good. If sexting is it, we should do that. But just be safe.
Don't do too much of it though.
Please follow Farhad's tips and then just be safe. That's all. That's all I have to say. I think we should do whatever it takes to kind of feel better, because we deserve a little happiness in this awful time.
Oh my God. And it's indefinite. Who knows when it's going to come to an end.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, we'll sign off. And
it's so funny. My cat just sat on my phone, which we are recording this Zoom call. My cat is literally sitting on the phone, so I can't end this call. But thanks for listening to us, and we will come back next week with a new episode. And hey, bye, Sunetro. Nice talking to you, man. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Yes. Bye.
Hi guys, this is Ayushi.
And I am Ritasha.
And welcome to Agla Station Adulthood.
It's a fun podcast we've got going on, and we'd love for you to tune in and enjoy with us.
Join us as we stop at various stations and discuss different topics that seem to be bothering us, and hopefully you as well.
Relationships, beauty, just being an adult, lots of different things.
We don't have a great grip on it, but we've done okay so far.
Catch Agla Station Adulthood every Thursday on the IVM app, the IVM website, or wherever else you get your podcasts.
Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta. I'm B50 on Twitter. I am the host of Paisa Vaisa, the show that talks money. On my show, I speak to experts from every field of money and finance, from stock markets, equities, debt funds, credit cards, life insurance, every possible area of money and finance that you can think of. We even did an episode on cryptocurrency. I've got fantastic guests from mutual funds to personal finance experts everywhere. Robo-advisory, startups, just name it, we've got it. At Paisa, we help you make smart decisions about money. You work hard for money. Now make your money work hard for you. New episodes out every Monday, and you can listen to my show on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you have.